Hey guys, welcome back. So in our last lecture, we have seen the QA interface. And in this lecture, we're going to learn map interface. So we'll see what is map interface. So it's a part of collection framework, but it does not implement the java.util collection interface. Because map, you can say map, it's not extension of the collection interface, though it's a part of the collection framework. So it's actually part of the java.util.map. It's its own interface, the package. It represents a collection of key value pairs. So it stores pairs and pairs of keys and value. So it stores the your element as a key and value. So there will be key and also there will be value associated with that key. So each key is linked to a specific value. Once it's stored in a map, we can look up the value just using the key. A map cannot have a duplicate keys, but it can have a duplicate values. Let's say a couple of common scenarios when to use map. So it's an example like a map of managers and employees. This is an example. So each manager you can consider as a key is associated with the list of employees you can consider as a value that he manage, right? So that's the one example. So another example, we can say a map of classes and students. So each class you can consider as a key is associated with the list of students you can consider those are values, right? So that's the two example. We can easily understand the the scenarios of use case of maps. Now, since a map is interface, so it definitely needs some implementing class. So here is a number of implementing class like HashMap. So what is HashMap? It's a stores key values pairs. Definitely, it have to be but it store key values pairs in a hash table. It does not maintain any order of keys. It allows one null key and multiple null values. And another implementing class is called hash table. So a hash table, it's a synchronized version of HashMap and does not allow null keys or values. And another implementing class is called TreeMap. So TreeMap is stores key values pairs in a sorted order based on the keys and using a red black tree. It does not allow null keys, but it allows multiple null values. And the last one is called LinkedHashMap. LinkedHashMap is, some people, they don't mention even it's a implementing class of map interface, but it's an extension of HashMap, and it maintains the insertion order of element. So since it's an extension, so it also allows one null key and multiple null values. Okay, so mainly you can say it's a HashMap, hash table, tree map. Those are the three main you can say implementing class of map interface. And here is some of the common methods that we can use from the map interface, like a put. Okay, so put method, definitely you have to pass argument when you call any method for key and value, right? So it's associate the specified value with the specified key, right? So just to add an element to your map collection, so that's put, it will help you. So similar, like it's a put if absent, so it associates the specified values with the key if it's not already associated with the value. Then get method. So get method, it's you have to pass just the key to retrieve the value that associated. It's a return. You can say returns the value associated with the specific key or null if the key is not found. So it will help you to retrieve any value. Remove method, again, you can remove any value that associate to a key with a key, and using this the remove method if it's exists. the contains key. So again, it will return true if the map contains a mapping for the specified key. The contains value, it will return true if the map contains one or more keys mapped to the specified value. Okay, by the name you can understand, the contains key or contains value, it will return, true, whether it's if it's a contains specified key, or for the values it will help you to to contains, to ensure the if it contains one or more the values specified to a map. Then values, it returns a collection of all the values contains into the map. Then key set, this is very important method. It returns a set of all the keys contained in the map. Entry set returns a set of all the key value mappings contained in the map. Okay, so apart from there is a few other methods you will find, but those are the mostly highly or frequently we use in our day-to-day it's a map handling scenarios. Okay, let's see a demonstration with an example, to see this how we can implement like map interface with one of the implemented class, like maybe it's a HashMap. Okay, so let's create a map. So we're going to create a map, and then in a diamond operator, so we have to pass key value like the data type. So this, the first one is represent for key, and the second one is represent for the value. So a string is with the key, and the value would be in integer format. And then so this is my object reference or variable equals to, since map is an interface, so definitely we cannot create an object of the interface class. So it have to be, we have to create an object of the implementing class, because we have to implement the maps, all the elements through the implementing class, right? So let's use the HashMap. So we'll say new, right? HashMap, new HashMap. Okay, so this is the create an object of the HashMap. So hover your mouse, import the package to java.util, import the package for the map also, right? Now let's see there's how to add elements to the map, right? Like adding elements to the map. Okay, to do this, we'll use object reference of this. It's a map dot, the method is put. Okay, it's a put method, you can see. So the key is a string and integer is a value for our case. So here so put, and what would be the put? Let's see, I will give it keys. What is the key? Let's give it keys Alice, and the value would be in integer format, right? So the value, say it's age. Let's say it's the what we're going to store number of people's name and their age, corresponding age. So it's like 24. Okay, Alice, and then let's use a couple of more. So map, I'm going to just copy and paste. But so next one I would say Bob, and then the value is example 30, and next one it's example John, let's put this one 50 or 40. Okay, so that's it. Three user names that's using as a behaving like key, and this is the value is like their corresponding age. Okay, so this is my map. So if I want to see my map collection, so okay, print the map collection, print the map. So to do this, also sys out. So the map, this is the map, and then concatenation, and then I will pass just a map, my object reference. Let's see. Save it, run it. Here we go. You can see that's my map. It's a Bob. So this is the key equals to value. It comes with 30, and then Alice 24 and John 40. Okay, so it doesn't follow the insertion order, right? So the map doesn't follow the hash map, right? So that's why you can see that it's not following the insertion order, even though I put the Alice first. Okay, this is an just footnote. Now if I want get a associated value using a get method, right? So how can I do this? If I want to just retrieve the value of, say, example, Bob. What's the value of the Bob? So I can use the get method. I can retrieve one specific keys value. So I can do it. To do this, I can say, like, accessing a value using, I would say, using get method. Okay, using get method. So that time I will use, so let's put this one also printed, system.out.println. Okay, so I would say here, okay, age of Bob, age of Bob. So, and then I will use map dot, so it's a get method, so I can call the get method, and then I have to pass the key. Well, what's the key? Key is like, this is the key. So I want to get the value of the, or age of Bob, right? So this is my key. I have to pass the key over here. Then it will give me the value of Bob, which is going to be 30, right? That's, it should be in a string format. Bob, right? Save it and run it. Here, as you can see, age of Bob is 30. So that's the way you can retrieve one specific value that associated with using the get method and pass the key associated with that. Okay, so next is we can check if a key or value is present. If there is a key, so here is, we have a 3 key, or there is a 3 values, like we can check either its key or value is present or not in this map. So we can check this. Okay, check if a key or value is present. Okay, present. So to do this, let's again, I will check, and so it will return true or false, right? So I can just print that message, okay, let's see that. We'll check Alice. Okay, is the Alice, this key is present or not? Then we'll check one of the values. So like we'll say is Alice in the map? Okay, so we'll check that, and then class. Okay, we'll say, so to do this, we can call a method is called contains key. You'll say contains, you can say contains key. So there is a 2 methods, contains key and value. So key can be used to check is there any key it's available or not. And here I have to pass what key I'm looking for, say Alice. Okay, looking for Alice. So definitely it will return true. If you pass any other key which is not exist, it will return false, right? So similarly, I can just check a value too. I can check is the value of, say, example, John. Okay, I'll say is, so what's the value of John is 40, right? So like it's so let's 40, its age, I would say age 40 is age 40 in the map. So map contains, instead of the contains keys method, I will call contains value method, and that time I have to pass what exactly the value I'm looking for. So this is the integer, so it should be an integer 30, okay, or 40, right? So let's run it and see the output. Here you can see this is my map, and this is the edge for this one, right? And this is Alice in the map. It's true because it's Alice in the map. And is edge 40 in the map. It's true. Let's say that if I change it like 50, I'm looking for the age 50. Is there any value? It's 50 in this map. Save it, run it. You can say it's false. The age is 50 in the map. This one is false because there is no value which is equivalent, which is the same like 50, right? So this is the way you can check your any key or value in the map. Okay, so let's say next is how we can remove an element. Okay, remove any element from a map. Okay, so to do this, we'll call a method is called map.remove method. There's a remove method, and then you have to pass, you have to pass the key, right? So I'm going to pass key. So let's pass key. It's I will say John. Okay, let me copy just exactly the same key here. Okay, and then let's print our map. Okay, let me print our map after removing. So it should remove. So this is the first one, map. It's you can see this is John over here. You can say after map, after removing John. Okay, map after removing John, right? Let's run it. Here is the map after removing John. So it's a Bob, Alice. So you can see John is missing here, but it's our first map. John was there, right? So that's the way you can remove an element. Now, the last things we can discuss, how can we retrieve, how can I iterate or traverse over the entries in the map? Okay, so we'll say using the iterating. Okay, so or traverse. Iterating over the entries in the map. So that's what we're going to do. How can we traverse all the entries in the map? To do this, okay, let's use the for loop. So we can use a for each loop. So for each loop, so first we're going to use a map. So map dot, let's call the map dot entry set. You can see what is entry set. That's what I already explained at the when I say about the entry set. So entry set method allows iterating over the entries in the map using a for each loop. So since we're using a for each loop, that's why you are calling the entry set method. And also, what exactly returned by this method? So this return entry set method says return a set of all the key values mapping contained in the map. So we need all the sets of key and values, right? To when you run a loop, so we have to we need the idea or knowledge about all the keys associated with the values both. So entry set that will return all the sets of key value mappings that's contained in this map, right? So now after that, we'll puts in a variable this one. So this will give us all the sets of key and value, this method. So and then let's put in a variable. I would say so let's give a entry. Okay, this is the variable entry I created over here. And what would be the type? So type would be your key type. It's the same like a string, right? It have to be string key string and the comma. Integer is our, the value type. And also we have to call over here map dot another method is called entry, right? Map dot entry. And I have to create over here the instance of map entry interface map.entry, okay, which is, you can say it's coming from the java.util, and it's if you hover, because this is the variable I created entry, and this is the data type for key and your value, and what's a return type would be for this variable. It's a map.entry instance. You can see it's the interface, right? So instance of the, you can over here it instance of the map.entry interface may be obtained by iterating the entry set view of the map. Okay, this instance maintain a connection of the original or backing maps. So you can read in details over here. Okay, because it's storing the value as a key value pair. So definitely for this return for this variable, you have to say the what should be the type of this variable, right? So this is the data type, right? So this is the map.entry interface, right? Now this for each loop here, what you can say, so I will say we'll get the key and value, so we'll retrieve both, right? So let's see this out, and then I will say, so the key is the name, right? Key is the name and the value is the age. So I'll put a matches here. So name colon, and then class. Okay, class. Now this entry. So how this for each loop, I hope that you already know it, like so over here this is have the knowledge about the each and every key pairs value. So it will retrieve every iteration, it will extract one key and value and will store in this entry in the variable, right? So from this variable I can use this variable entry, and then I can extract the key as well as the value. So this is the first is the key. So key is nothing, is name. So I'll say for name, the what would be the key entry dot I'll say get key. You can see there's a get key method. So it will retrieve the key, which is the name, and then plus the if I want to retrieve the value again or age, what, I will put a one space here, so there is a space, and then age, and then I would say use the concatenation, and then entry again, and then dot value, get value, right? Get value will get the value it's associated with this key. Okay, so because it's map in the key sets over here, it is returning the sets of key and value, and the first iteration, the first sets of key and value, and this first sets of key and value will assign to this variable, so which is like key will go to the string, and that's why it's and the value is integer. So from there, from this variable, if I want to retrieve, I can call the get key. So here is the entry dot get key method, so it will get the key, and here is entry dot get value, which will get the value. It's nothing is age, and here's the key is nothing is name. Okay, so this is the first iteration. The second iteration, if there is any other key value in the map, so it will, the second iteration, it will get this second key pair of key and value, and it will assign to entry variable, and it will do the same thing, same way we can get that, retrieve that key and value using the get key and get value method, and it will keep continuing as long as this map entry sets, or this map has the key and value, right? Very simple. Let me run it. There you go. So this is the last part after removing John. So this is the last part, name. So now, so here we already removed John, right? So our update, this is our latest map, Bob and Alice. So here is using over here for the first iteration name, and the key is Bob, and this here is a comma, then age, and this the get value is the 30 is associated with this Bob. Bob is 30, right? Similarly, the next iteration we got Alice, and the age is 24. Alice 24. Okay, so this is the way you can use the for each loop to iterate or retrieve each and every pairs like key and value from your map. Okay, and then I mean, if you want using key sets or values also. Okay, let me show you that part too. Using, there's another method, it's called key set method and values method that can help you to retrieve key and values, right? So example, sysound, I would say all keys, okay, all keys, and then I can call map dot, there's a method, it's called key set, you can see key set, okay, and the same way I can call sysout and all values, okay, and then I can call map dot values method, okay, and because key sets and values, the key sets methods return, this will return all the keys, and also values methods return all the values in the map. So this is like another alternate of using for each map. So we can use key sets. So let me show you, just put it over here, another let's put this one sysout, so we can make some differentials. Sysout will say that using, okay, using key sets and values method, right? Let me run it. There you go. Okay, you can see that using key sets and values method over here, all keys, here is the keys, Bob and Alice, and this is the values. So it's all the keys shows in, in separately, and also value shows also together separately, right? It's totally up to you how you want to retrieve or iterate all the elements from your map. So that's different. So this is all of the different the use case or methods that's associated with the map interface using the HashMap class. Okay, that's it. Thank you.